Hey everybody. So today's the 9th of November, only a couple of weeks away from the US Thanksgiving holiday, but it's Sunday and it's time again for the regular weekly analysis, which I do before the markets open on Monday. And this week's analysis is for the 10th of November to the 14th of November, 2025. So we'll have a look at XAU USD, gold spot, and all of the major US pairs. So most of the year, it's been very volatile. If you're a trader, you know that, and it's not likely to change with Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up soon. As we finish out the year of our trading, we're likely to see continued volatility as there's just so much uncertainty going on in the global markets, especially in the US. But before we look at the last week's trade orders that I shared with you, and the pending orders that are coming up for this week, of course, we always look at the calendar and see what the scheduled news events are, the high impact news items. So let's jump over and look at forexfactory.com. Our go-to website, forexfactory.com, and you can see there's a long list of high impact news items scheduled to be released this week. And initially it's on the pound and the Australian economy. Then later in the week, we have a lot of items on the US economy. And all of these are marked as tentative, and that is because of the US government shutdown. It's not likely that these items will be released. And now moving over to my Tradingview website, this is last week's orders, which I shared the trade setups with you, and we'll see what happened with those orders, with those trades that were placed or not placed. And looking at gold first, XAU USD, I had a buy limit on that one at $39.95, and it opened on the first day of the week, on Monday. The trade did execute, went up, got 340 pips, but then it went the opposite direction, then started to come back up about midweek. And you could have taken an entry, a long trade at the same price level, $39.95, and got another couple hundred pips on Thursday and also on Friday. But really what we see here is that gold has been trading in a sideways market, sideways movement. There's no trend after this big retracement pullback that we saw about 3 weeks ago. Now we're in a range here around the 4,000 zone. And so we'll just see what's going to happen. It's going to break out. Okay, it will break out either above and go higher prices or below and go to lower prices. But I'll share my pending order with you in just a few moments. Then we'll see what happened with Bitcoin. I had a buy on that. You know, I don't trade Bitcoin. I buy on a regular basis, dollar cost averaging, but it's bounced off of this 100,000 support level twice last week. And now it's going down a little bit on Sunday, but it might come down and test that 100,000 again before start to heading for higher prices. We'll just see how that one plays out. The Euro US executed on the end of the week, Friday. Okay, it did not open early in the week, went down, did not hit the stop loss. All right, so I was holding on to that trade and started to pull back, make a recovery on Thursday, and then on Friday we got 35 pips out of the Euro US. The odd US opened in the beginning of the week, all right, on the Monday. The pending order opened and got 20 pips out of that one before it started going the wrong direction. The New Zealand US also opened on Monday and got 12 pips out of that one before it turning around and going the wrong direction. The USD CAD, you remember I had no trade on that one. This one has been climbing up, going to higher prices until Friday when the news came out on the Canadian economy, and it was really, really good news for the Canadian economy, all right, about employment figures. And so we saw this massive drop during the US session and before the close of the US session on Friday. So I had no trade on that one. We had a big move up and then a big move down, and we're likely to continue to see lower prices on the USD CAD. And the UJ, I had a buy limit on that one, and that one opened on Tuesday, and then we got 68 pips out of the USD JPY. Some of you have been asking what I use to come up with the numbers for my analysis, and I use support and resistance. All right, and there are 3 types of support and resistance. You should know that if you're a trader. And I have made a video to explain those 3 different types of support and resistance, and you can find the link to that below this video. And as I have shared with you many times before, I do use the horizontal support and resistance. That's these lines that you see here. This is an indicator that I have on MT5 and MT4, and I offer this to you absolutely free. It's a free download from my website, and the link for this is below this video. It's a great indicator. It updates automatically every day, and it gives you the support levels 3 levels down and the resistance levels 3 levels up, as well as the midday pivot point. It's a great indicator, very accurate. As you can see here, it's bounced off of this resistance level. It did break above that, came back down to it. So, and it's on the support level, the pivot point for the day, it stayed right on that. So this is a very, very accurate indicator. And if you want to use this, it's absolutely free. It's good for MT4, MT5. You can download both of those from my website. Doesn't work on TradingView, but it's great for the MetaTrader applications. And now we'll jump over to the pending orders that I'm going to share with you. That's for this upcoming week of the 10th to the 14th of November, 2025. And before we do that, let's look at the DXY. This is the dollar index. This is the US dollar compared with 6 major currencies. And it looks like the last couple of weeks we've had a good run from the US dollar. It's got back up to the psychological number of 100. But is that sustainable? Well, as I always show you, we go back to the weekly chart here and we look at the big picture. This is where Trumpty Dumpty took office, and it's been on a continuing decline. We have had some pullbacks, some retracements. Is that going to continue? I don't think so. Not likely. Not with the continuing de-dollarization that we're seeing globally, and with the central banks continuing to buy more and more gold, which puts pressure on the US dollar. So having hit the 100 zone, I expect that we will start to see a continuing decline of the US dollar. Let's jump over to my other chart here and we'll see what I have in place for this upcoming week. The first pending order, which I will share with you, is XAU USD, and this is a buy. All right, market execution. Now, it's bearish on the day chart and it's bullish on the 4-hour chart. And usually what you will see, once it starts to turn bullish on the 4-hour chart, it will eventually turn bullish on the day chart. The day chart is slower to show the trend than the 4-hour chart. So it could break either way, guys. There's no guarantee that it's going to turn bullish. You know, we're at this 4,000 zone level, which has been at for 2 weeks now. It's trading sideways, as you can see here on the chart. But it's going to break out. It will break out, and it will either go to higher prices or it will go to lower prices. It won't stay in this sideways range forever. So I am bullish on the gold. I still have a bullish bias, and I expect we're going to see higher prices. So I have a buy order, market execution, just buy. I have a take profit at 4,100 with a stop loss at 3,980. All right. Now, these are my trades that I share with you, my pending orders. These are the trades that I take during the week. And remember that it's up to you to take trades according to your strategy. I'm not suggesting or recommending you take the same trades that I do. You can if you want to, but it's up to you to manage your own account and to use good risk management. So the next one we'll look at is Bitcoin. All right, I have a buy. I always have a buy on Bitcoin. You know, it's funny, when it gets to high prices like 125,000, which it has been, everyone says, oh, I want to buy Bitcoin when it's cheap. But now it's down here, it's cheap, and no one is buying. Or it's always a good time to buy Bitcoin because it will go to higher prices. This is a digital asset for the future. And that's why I always buy Bitcoin every chance I get, regularly once a week, as a digital asset for the future, an investment in digital assets for the future. All right, Euro US, let's see what the major pairs, what I have for those, a buy on the Euro US, okay, with the entry price where it closed on Friday at 1.1560. The odd US, also a buy with the entry price where it closed at 0.6492. The New Zealand US, a buy, market execution with the price where it closed at 0.5623. The USD CAD, a sell limit. All right, expecting to see a continuing impact from that really, really good news that we saw last Friday on the Canadian economy. So I have a sell limit on the USD CAD. Let it retrace just a little bit back to that resistance zone there with the entry price at 1.4050. Then the UJ, no trade. I'm going to wait and see whether this is going to go to higher prices or lower prices. It has taken a while for this new prime minister in Japan to get her feet on the ground, and the Japanese economy not so stable, not so certain. So I'm just waiting to see which direction the UJ is going to go. So no trade on the USD JPY. Okay, guys, that's a wrap for this week. I hope that these trade setups that I share with you will help you to make profit with your Forex trading. If you'd like to follow me on Facebook, I've started doing a live analysis on Facebook and during the Asian Pacific market. And you can find me at Facebook. That's rickrayfx. All right. If you want to join me on those live analysis sessions, you're more than welcome. And also I share on YouTube. I do live on YouTube. So be sure you subscribe to the channel, click the little bell so you'll be notified every time I make this weekly analysis and when I go live on YouTube. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you have a great, successful week of trading. And of course, remember, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'll see you again in the next video.